Hey BookTube, it's Peg. Welcome back to the History Shelf. As many of you know, as much as I love history, and we cover history almost all the time here, but I do love me some good mysteries. And so when BookTube does the March Mystery Madness month, you know I can't not get involved, okay? I mean, I just have to. Plus the fact that I haven't had a mystery going on my bedside table for a couple months now. I've had some other things going instead. So consider this our little mystery fiction edition of the History Shelf. You know, I like to give some variety out there. So, you know, what I did was I read a lot of different mystery series. And I'm always looking to discover new ones, so sometimes I'm picking up new books in a series by a new author. And sometimes these kind of just, you know, as they do with bookish people like us, they kind of tend to pile up a little bit. So when I was approaching, okay, what mystery do I want to start for March? I was like, well, let me see what's in the stack and what I've kind of accumulated the last, probably since Christmas, maybe a little bit before, and maybe, and one of these is even from last Christmas, but I've accumulated a little stack of options. Now, I'm not saying I'm reading all of these in March, because I'm not, but I'm going to choose one, probably, maybe, possibly two, to get going. So, yes, come along with me. Let me know what you think. If you have read any of these books or know the authors and are, you know, have some insight into what I could possibly be getting into, your feedback will help me make my decision. So, having said that, you know, this is a mutual conversation. I really need you guys to, you know, point me in the right direction, as it were. Okay. Gosh, well, this author needs no introduction, really. I've talked about her before, and I'm very tempted to start this just because I've dedicated myself to reading all of the books in her Inspector Lynley series. This is Elizabeth George. This is the next book. The last one I read was Payment in Blood, and so this is For the Sake of Elena. So I've been collecting these really nice trade paperback editions of her books, and I plan on keeping these. And I think Martine mentioned she might want to start reading A Great Deliverance. That was the first book in the series.
Yeah, that was pretty dark.
It was pretty dark, yeah. But, oh, you know what? Let me make a correction. The last book I read by her wasn't Payment in Blood. It was A Suitable Vengeance. So, this is the next in the series. And you may have seen the Inspector Lynley series on PBS. I've watched one episode because it covered the one book that I had read. And I refused to watch more with Martine, even though she watched them all, because I want to read the books first. I don't want anything spoiled. So once I get these, you know, clocking these books up behind me, I can go and watch the episode that pertains to it and enjoy it. But let's see here. So I'll give you a quick rundown. In her clingy dresses and dangling earrings, Elena Weaver exuded a sensuality. A sensuality. I like how the British say that. You know, the English. Sensual.
I rate every season of Lindley by Nathaniel Parker's hair, because he goes through this crazy 80s to 90s hairstyle.
Right, yeah.
It's very bad.
80s to 90s hairstyle, and
it's floppy.
Oof. That's how you probably didn't hear her in the background, but she says she rates every Inspector Lynley series or episode or season by the actors who plays him.
Yeah.
His hair goes from an 80s to a 90s flop over. She says it's pretty bad.
It's not so good.
Okay, so let's back to the Elena Weaver here. Elena Weaver exuded a sexuality. I do that because she laughs. At odds with the innocence projected by the unicorn posters on her walls. Oh. While her embittered mother fretted about her welfare in Cambridge, where Elena was a student at St. Stephen's College, her father and his second wife each had their own very different image of the girl. As for Elena, she lived a life of casual and intense relationships with scores to settle and goals to achieve until someone bludgeoned her to death.
Oh, dear.
I know. Unwilling to involve the local police, the university calls a New Scotland Yard. Thus, Detective Inspector Thomas Lindley and Detective Sergeant Barbara Havers enter a rarefied world where academic gowns often hide murderous intentions. For the officers, the true identity of Elena proves elusive, as each relationship she left behind casts a new light both on herself and on those who appeared to know her best. What's more, Elena's father has his own dark secrets. While his past sins make him neurotically dedicated to Elena and blind to her blacker side, present demons drive him toward betrayal. This sounds like another dark-ass novel. Elizabeth George, she can write some dark themes, and mind you, these were written back in the early 80s. Oh, I think by the time this was written, it was A Great Deliverance was very dark, and they had some like really verboten themes for like late 70s, early 80s.
Even today.
And even today, it's dark. But so this actually is early 90s when she wrote this. This came out in 1992. Okay. Anyway, so that's my option to start. One of my options. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so this was a book that I asked for Christmas last Christmas and got, and I keep meaning to get to. We had started watching I think it was the Stars miniseries on it. It's by Tana French. I think she pronounces it Tana, not Tana, but Tana French. This is In the Woods. And as you can see, it's the inspiration for the Dublin Murders on Stars. And we did start watching it, and I was really drawn into it. I was really enjoying it. And then I realized they combined the first two books by Tana French, In the Woods and The Likeness, into one whole series, and there was too much going on, really. So I didn't get around to finishing the Dublin Murders to find out about this main storyline about In the Woods, like what happened to the kids in the woods. So, because I said, you know what, I'm going to read the books. So, there's still like a surprise for me involved with this. So let me just read you a quick synopsis. As dusk approaches a small Dublin suburb in the summer of 1984, mothers begin to call their children home. But on this warm evening, 3 children do not return from the dark and silent woods. When the police arrive, they find only one of the children gripping a tree trunk in terror, wearing blood-filled sneakers, and unable to recall a single detail of the previous hours. 20 years later, the found boy, Rob Ryan, is a detective on the Dublin Murder Squad and keeps his past a secret. But when a 12-year-old girl is found murdered in the same woods, he and Detective Cassie Maddox, his partner and closest friend, find themselves investigating a case chillingly similar to the previous unsolved mystery. Now, with only snippets of long-buried memories to guide him, Ryan has the chance to uncover both the mystery of the case before him and that of his own to uncover both the mystery of the case before him and that of his own shadowy past. So that's my second option. Let me know if any of you guys out there have actually read the book In the Woods. Not so much the watching the miniseries. I mean, I'd like to finish the show once I read this book. But I've heard good things about Tana French. And I know she's got a brand new book out in hardcover. Oh, what's it called? The Witnesses? Something like that. I don't know. But she's got a new book out, and I've been meaning to read her. So that is another choice for me for March Mystery Madness. Okay, so this one I recently showed. This is a brand new release, and I'm really leaning toward this one heavily, too, because I'd like to review it and see how...
Read all of them, honey. You're not reading anything else. Just go ahead and read all of them.
Yeah, I've got nothing else on my plate. I could read all of these. No problem.
I believe in you.
No due dates, no deadlines for book reviews I've got to write.
You don't
Nothing.
need to sleep. It's fine.
I don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't need to have a. We talk about my tension, anxiety headaches I get at the base of my skull when I'm stressed out. Yeah, my head will explode. Oh, see, I just cracked it. I don't know if I could feel it. I just cracked the neck. I go to the chiropractor, you guys, because I need my neck to be cracked. Ooh. Yeah, I've been having some headaches the last few days, and the Tylenol's not been helping, so I'm looking forward to going to the chiropractor on Monday or Tuesday. This is a brand new release, and it's a mystery, obviously. This is by John Banville. This is Snow. I've shown this relatively recently on this channel as part of a book haul and some books that came across for review. In fact, I do want to read this. I'm going to read this anyway, I think, just because, I got the review copy and I want to report back on it. But let me read to you real quick here. Detective Inspector St. John Strafford has been summoned to County Wexford to investigate a murder. A parish priest has been found dead in Ballyglass House, the family seat of the aristocratic, secretive Osborne family. The year is 1957, and the Catholic Church rules Ireland with an iron fist. Strafford, flinty, visibly Protestant. How is one visibly Protestant?
You gotta stick up their ass.
Oh, hey now. I'm not going to repeat if you didn't hear what she said. She'll look at her guffawing in the background. But seriously, how is one visibly Protestant? It's got a sign around his neck.
An Irish person, Matt.
I am Protestant. Matt Damon. Sorry.
What you did was way worse. Okay.
That's an inside joke. That's Team America right there. Okay, thank you. Some of you might know that reference. Moving on. So Strafford is flinty and visibly Protestant and determined to identify the murderer. And he faces obstruction at every turn, from the heavily accumulating snow to the culture of silence in the tight-knit community he begins to investigate. As he delves further, he learns the Osbornes are not at all what they seem, and when his own deputy goes missing, Strafford must work to unravel the ever-expanding mystery before the community's secrets, like the snowfall itself, threaten to obliterate everything. Boom. So I kind of like the sound of this, just the atmospherics are cool, and I do, I enjoy reading anything that's kind of set in Ireland.
You like your cold weather books.
I love my cold weather books. You know what? Yes, Martine is absolutely correct. She just hit the nail on the head. For some reason, I am drawn to books which... Oh, and that speaks to another one I selected as a possibility for March Mystery Madness I'm going to show next. I love cold weather books that also include, like, mystery and murder and... Dark Nights of the Soul kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so
What
John...
you want to do, again, is to develop a time machine and a weather machine.
Yeah.
Wherein you can move to the Cotswolds circa 1950.
Yeah, Cotswolds, 1950.
Christmas time.
Yes, Christmas time. And then there's a cozy little murder.
Cozy little murder.
Nothing gruesome.
No.
Nothing gruesome. And then you just go around and
Mostly you
in
eat
quiet.
scones and gossip about that.
I drink tons of tea, eat scones, and gossip, and just,
And solve the thing.
and solve it, and just, be inquisitive amongst the villagers and ask questions.
Yeah.
So, anyway, John Snow. You know nothing, John Snow. This is John Banville, and the book is Snow. So, okay, thank you. All right, so... Oh, but yeah, the next two books actually speak to cold weather. What is it about me?
I don't know.
Look at this one.
Cold weather.
I kind of do.
Well, you like it from the outside.
I like cold weather from the inside of my warm house and my fireplace. So yeah, absolutely correct. All right, so this is another book that is brand new. It was just recently translated, I believe. This came out in 2019 in German. No, wait, maybe not German. Finnish. But it was translated in 2020 by Christian London. This is Max Seeks The Witch Hunter. Look at that, another snowy, another snowy field, I just love it. There's something about the cold. Something about it. So here we go. A shocking murder in an affluent Helsinki suburb has ties to witchcraft and the occult in this thrilling U.S. debut from Finnish author Max Seek. A best-selling author's wife has been found dead in a gorgeous black evening gown, sitting at the head of an empty dining table. Her most chilling feature, her face is frozen in a ghastly smile. At first, it seems as though a deranged psychopath is reenacting the gruesome murders from the Witch Hunt trilogy, bestsellers written by the victim's husband. But investigator Jessica Niemi soon realizes she's not looking for a single killer, but rather for dozens of believers in a sinister form of witchcraft who know her every move and are always one step ahead. As the bodies start piling up, Jessica knows they won't stop until they get what they want. And when her dark past comes to light, can I just say almost everyone in these books has a dark past?
They're not in the books unless they have a dark past.
You can't be in a book unless you have a dark past.
No, even the dogs have dark past.
Even the animals do.
Yeah. It's not really a poodle. What?
When her dark past comes to light, Jessica finds herself battling her own demons while desperately trying to catch a coven of killers before they claim their next victim.
There's covens everywhere. That's the other thing.
And she says covens. And guess what? Makes me think of American Documentary, that awesome movie from the 90s, where the guy thought it was pronounced coven. And and he would not listen to anyone who said it's coven. And he's like, and he's Canadian, so he's just like, what the hell? What the hell, man? That's no, like coven, like an oven? No, man, it's coven. Because he was making a scary movie, and he called it coven. You guys need to watch American Documentary. It is the most hysterical movie from the 90s. I just loved that movie. Oh, my God. Oh, we have to watch. I've got to find it for you. You will laugh your ass off because his sidekick, it was so funny. But the whole thing was he was making his own movie, and the actor was like Coven, and he's like, no, man, it's Coven. Anyway, the witch hunter, guys, doesn't that sound really kind of good? Plus, also, I kind of like the fact that like the lead detective is a woman, just because with
the history,
with a dark past.
I'm sorry, dark past.
Get it right, Martine. Oh, and here's another. Yeah, I guess I have a theme here, except for a couple of these were like male-female detective teams, but then we had two that had. One that just has the female lead, and then another one which is just a female detective. Which this is a series I've been really wanting to get into, and this is also takes us to a very cold place. I think it's. Are we looking at Iceland here? I think this is Iceland, but this is I can't say he's a new author. He has two separate mystery or thriller series going, but this one is. Deals with the.
That must be hard to keep straight. He's like, wait a second, who's the killer in this one? Is it the?
Yeah.
Is it the Coven leader? Or
Coven.
The Coven leader?
Now you're going to say Coven.
Yeah.
So this is The Darkness by Ragnar Jonasson.
It's a great name.
Yeah. And this is the first book that features the first in the series that features. It's set in Reykjavik, so it's Iceland. That features Detective Inspector Hulda Hermansdottir. And he also has written another series that it has a male detective lead. And but I kind of with a dark past and history. But I kind of wanted to check this one out, and I think I got it on a bargain book outlet, and you can get a few of these. This is the first in the series called The Darkness. So I know, dark past, darkness, get out of here. Let me read this real quick. The body of a young Russian woman washes up on a remote Icelandic beach. She came looking for safety, but instead she found a watery grave. A hasty police investigation determines her death as suicide, and the case is quietly closed. When Detective Inspector Hulda Hermansdottir of the Reykjavik Police is forced into early retirement, she is told she can investigate one last cold case of her choice, and she knows which one. The Russian woman whose hope for asylum ended on the dark, cold shore of an unfamiliar country. Soon Hulda discovers that another young woman vanished at the same time, and that no one is telling her the whole story. Even her police colleagues seem determined to put the brakes on her investigation. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. Hulda will find the killer, even if it means putting her own life in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spanning the icy streets of Reykjavik, the Icelandic highlands, and cold, isolated fjords.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Filled with covens.
With covens galore.
Mm-hmm.
The Darkness is an atmospheric and complex thriller from Ragnar Jonasson, the award-winning author of the internationally best-selling Airy Thor thrillers. Yeah, so the Airy Thor is the other sequence of stories that are like detective thrillers.
In relation to Brad?
No, that's right. Thor. Well, it's got a little, like, not an umlaut, but a little inflection over the O. But if I like these, I might check out the other detective series, the Ari Thor series, which starts with Snowblind, which it says right here. Anyway, so you guys, I've got what appeals to you? Tell me.
Read everything.
I know I can't really read everything this month.
Right now on camera to reading everything.
I cannot read everything this month.
Do it or else you'll be a disappointment to everybody.
Thank you for your support, honey. I try to be a disappointment to everybody by not being able to read everything. So, yes, these are my selections, guys. March Mystery Madness. I am really excited. I'm going to make my final choices probably by Monday, because Monday is March 1st. But in the meantime, I'd hope to get this video up today and posted, so you guys have a couple of days to comment. Let me know what you think of these books, these authors. I need some inputs to help me make my decisions. So this is a tag team effort, guys. I need you. All right, I am stoked for March Mystery Madness. Also tell me in the comments what you're reading. I would love to know, and if you have some recommendations, something that you want to introduce to me, tell me. Martine will be like, please don't. We don't need any more books. But hey, just tell me.
Just read them at the same time. It's all good.
Yeah, as long as that's the stipulation, is that I read them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But just whisper them to me. Just whisper. Okay, guys. So that's it for now. I'll be back soon with another video. And take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.